So, proofing concept complete. And by the way, maybe I should show myself in some of these works, since anyone could be retarded enough to try to do that kind of bullshit. Now then, it's a very simple architecture with para and diamagnetics along with refraction. Magnetic refraction is what I've been doing with this. Now, the only thing that's a bother is I don't have a tripod or anything, so I'm going to have to manually start this, so that I can then show you what I have been working on, which is wireless transmission of motion. That is not touching, as you can see. It's just aluminum and copper. Now, if it doesn't have the proper speed of magnetic centrifugal force, which is essentially, it's not at the right frequency, it's approximately 240 hertz, which is what I designed this coil to respond to. I can now use an ambient magnetic field to position aluminum. As you can see, once the 240 range is lost, motion will stop. I'll speed this back up manually at this point. Now see, this architecture, oops, it is a little, makeshift here. And I still have to do measurement tests between the copper wire. Now the next thing I can accidentally do is reach the glass's oscillation frequency, and it will cause the glass to shatter. In the meantime, I have to create something a little bit more designed to sit on this. This is basically the same iono concept as an ionocraft, and the same concept with magnetic waves in ionocraft. And of course, this is all fucked up. I can't do much, as if you could hear that. My fingers are cracking because I'm constantly fighting rigor mortis. People are not familiar with this type of epilepsy on the East Coast. That's just, occupational disruption. Now, even down to creating this floor, I have to come up with something to be able to hold that better. What I've done at this point is everything wanted to just knock into that. Anyway, what I have done is recreated this here. It's a microwave transmitter. And unlike my first botched effort, because of the epilepsy, I cut in too deep. As you can see, this time around, I got the nearly perfect cut. And this saves me time later, less to grind down, since I'm going to need this angleization up to about here, and this I'm going to have to remake yet another one, because unfortunately, just as I was reaching for it over here from the other desk, it fell, dropped, and pierced the aluminum. It's essentially worthless now. Every bend in the metal changes the field of the magnetics. And as far as primitive measuring devices go, I've got a few leads here that will be able to tell me, based upon the distance, I'm going to have to straighten them out more than this, otherwise it will change the outcome. But effectively, even with this wireless transmission of motion is entirely possible. That means, like, with a single core unit, I can have parts that deploy and stay in orbit magnetically and perform their functions at a precision level that no gears or bearings or physical connection could achieve. Just impossible precision. Only can be done with ambient fields, ambient persistent fields, ambient collapsing fields, all of this. After all, if I measure in the center of it, the center of this cup, it's going to give me a radiant voltage that's equal to the sunlight, because glass oscillates to sunlight, which then transfers to this coil. Is why under pristine laboratory conditions, with the proper frequency being directly sent to either the glass or the coil, instead of how I just backhanded it here with this will spin on its own. And, of course, levitate, with no superconductors required. In other words, I can sit here and deal with retards that have no idea what I'm doing and say I'm building a bomb and watch them freak out on purpose. Because it would be easier to say that and then have the fucking bomb squad come in and go, this isn't a bomb. And them getting in trouble for calling in a false bomb threat at that point. This is the only way it would happen, if someone was overhearing what I was working on. In which case, I might as well give them a bunch of bullshit to protect my research. And that's kind of how it's been. It's just like this. It's simple tobacco. But every other retard thinks it's fucking weed. And I use that perception as a fucking tool for self-defense and war. Say, you'll never understand what I'm doing. It'll take too long to explain it.